Hi everybody, Troy from TR Tech Tactical and Survival. Sitting here next to my SOG main bug out bag from SOG. This is the one that you saw me review just recently, and I've been carrying this around in the field. For hunting season, I took out my survival gear and I was using this to hike all my hunting gear out into the forest. And if you've not hunted, then you won't realize or know what all that entails, but especially wintertime, you end up going out. You don't want to be heavily clothed when you're hiking into the trails because you're going to sweat. So I put all my heavy winter gear in here, and my deer gutting equipment and everything else, all the, what do you call that? Oh, no, I forgot what it's called. The pulley and rope system to pull up the deer, which I know the name, but I just suddenly forgot it. Anyway, all my gear, extra ammo and everything was in here, and this served me really well in the last couple weeks for hunting season, and I've used it quite heavily. Now it is again my main bug out backpack, and I want to show you what all I've got going on here. It is a great bag because it's compartmentalized, and I won't go into a big amount of detail about the compartments because we already talked about that just recently. But I do want to show you what I got in here, and this is a work in progress. This does not contain everything that I have or that I want to carry. I've got some 550 cord, brand new by the way. I've got my Bear Grylls survival knife, which is a very good knife, so I do keep this with me now. It's got a fire starter. I'll probably do a video on this in itself one day. Sorry, my one finger is injured. It's a good heavy-duty knife, full tang, really solid. It's got a built-in knife sharpener. It's got a fire starter, magnesium fire starter. Everything is really tough in here to remove, and I'm working with a cut finger. So it's got the magnesium, or the ferrocerium rod, sorry, the ferro rod. And it's got a built-in whistle, really loud, just hurt my ears. Heavy duty knife. It is really solid in the hands, and I'll do a full video on that another time. And it's got a survival kit built in, but that sits in here. I've got my binoculars, very valuable. I've got a first aid kit, which I'll review in a separate time. I've got a couple collapsible water bottles. I do drink a lot of water when I'm out in the field. I've got my fishing kit. I always have a fishing kit. Now when I did my survival fishing video this summer, people were laughing at me saying, "That's not survival, you've got fishing gear." Well, I've always got fishing gear. Here's my supplementary fire starting kit. I have here a magnifying glass, a butane cigarette lighter. I've got waterproof matches. I also have some razor blades and some napkins in here. And I have my military can opener. I have a survival book, which I know is extra weight, but for now I do like to have this in here because this is training, and I do take this out, and it's good reading material. This is the Outdoorsman Handbook. It's got a lot of good stuff. I'm not even going to go into it right now, but it's an old book from... It's an old book from 1970. Good old classic, and it's got some good information in it. So I take that when I'm out in the field for training purposes. I have something to read and study. Then I've got the pouch up here has a mosquito head net, and my compass and thermometer. It's a secondary compass and thermometer. The tips to my hiking sticks, which I don't currently have here with this stuff. I've got over here a wind-up flashlight and some extra special strapping. In here is empty for now. I just wanted to double check. I'm still setting up the bag. But there is a good amount of gear here in this pouch alone. This does carry quite a nice amount of gear. Now, I am always working on my bug out bag and what I carry. I'm always improving, lightening the load, changing what I've got, and discarding the, well, basically, as I work along. Boy, I had that packed nicely. That knife, by the way, will come out and go on my belt when I hit the road. So this is just in there for now. That's not a permanent thing right there. Alright, so I lost my train of thought. So I'm always reworking my bag. I'm always lightening the load. I'm always replacing something with something better. As I get something new and better, I take out the old, and I'm always replacing stuff with better and better gear. This has a really nice cinch strap here, which ties down on the sides and keeps the bag nice and neat. Now in here I've got a ultra light fast dry towel, and I'm not going to pull everything out too much here, but I do have my topo maps of the areas that I hike in. Very important to have maps of the areas. Cats, stop. I've got my shelter tarp for underneath the shelter. I've got, I like having a tent rain flap. This is the rain fly for a tent, which makes an awesome, really quick shelter. You just tie up a string to 2 trees, drape it over the thing, and put some stakes out at the end, and you've got a really quick shelter. There's nothing faster except for a pop-up, which weighs a lot. And a fishing pole. Never leave home without it. Like I said, I always carry my fishing gear with me. Now, I like redundancy, and the thing is, the Bear Grylls survival knife is a good survival knife to have, but I also have my cold steel here, which is one of my favorites of all time. And it's really light. It doesn't add a lot to the weight of the bag. But what I really like about this is it can be a spear. So this is a good hunting tool for survival. It is a really good hunting survival tool. You're going to have to provide food for yourself. And it also has a fire starting thing on the side there. So there's my shelter, quick to grab. Now I'm not going to pull it all out. Sorry, I had to go chase the cats down. They were tearing the upstairs apart. So I've got a water container here. This is a 1-quart water container that I keep strapped on my bag because I do drink a lot of water, as I said. And I've got right here is the side pouches. Has my old military poncho, which is a great rain shelter, field expedient sleeping shelter, poncho for you, and it goes over your bag. It's big enough to go over yourself and your backpack, which is why I still keep that around, and if you take care of the thing, it lasts a long time. That's the one that I had in the military. I still use it today, many years later. Now over here, I've got my other rain gear, and one of these will go to Melanie when she arrives. I carry it around for now. I've got a Stasher poncho from Eastern Mountain Sports, and that'll go to Melanie when she gets here. I just have to carry the extra because I have discovered when it's raining out and you're wearing your poncho and you want to set up your shelter using a poncho, you're sort of stuck. And if it's raining really hard, I learned one day, I was out in a really hard pouring storm, and I wanted to make a shelter using the poncho. I did not have this one with me. I took it out and left it at home thinking, it's extra. I don't need all that. And I didn't have my tent rain fly at the time either. I was ultralight hiking and I was wearing my shelter. So when I took it off to set up my shelter to sleep in, everything got wet, including myself. So it's good if you're going to use a poncho as a shelter to carry a second poncho to cover yourself. Right now I do have the rain fly in here, so I've got 3 different things. As I said, it's kept in here for now. When Melanie arrives, this will go to her. I've got my Eastern Mountain Sports stasher pants as well. So my rain gear and shelter is easily grabbable on the outside of the pouch, which to me is a great thing. I love having it quick grab and easily accessible if it starts to rain. Now another easily accessible area here, something very important, you've got to have it quick to access and quick grab, is your fire starting materials. Here I've got some different matches, some hand sanitizer which is alcohol based and starts fire nicely, magnesium fire starter, another cigarette lighter, I do believe in redundancy, and some fire starting tabs, and a gigantic ferro rod off eBay. Actually, Bison from Buggin' In gave me this one, but he got it off, I think it was eBay he had said. That's a massive ferro rod. That'll start you a lot of fires. So, also very nice, easily accessible, quick grab. That's something that you want to know where it is and not have to dig through your entire bag to get to it. I don't know if I have anything there yet. No, that's where the cell phone goes. And then I've got the main pouch. Let me turn this over here. I've got the main compartment here, the primary chamber of the bag. Now, what I like about this is it flips wide open. I really like how that works. Now here I've got my sleeping gear stuffed into a stuff sack. So it's got my original military poncho liner, which I love very much, and I still keep that around, and it's also got my sleeping bag in here. This could be compressed much farther, as you can see, but it's not good to have your sleeping bag compressed like that. Not good at all for your sleeping bag. Now, I love, again, how this is compartmentalized. I really love how this bag is laid out. I really like it a lot. Here I've got my sleeping bag liner, also from Eastern Mountain Sports. Had a friend that worked there for a while. I've got cordage, very important, and I've used this stuff so much through the years. The same ropes I use again and again and again and again. I've got them cut to the sizes I like. I flip up my shelter with a long piece and I tie down the ends with either log or stakes, and I've got a quick shelter. I've got stakes, the ultralight, super light aluminum stakes. Got a good deal on them at one point. And my big Agnes mat, my sleeping pad, which popped on me last time and I've got to repair it. It's pretty heavy though, and I'm thinking about retiring this and starting to use a foam pad. But I do like my comfort in the field, so that's a tough call. And everything neatly goes in its place. Everything's got its place now. So here I've got my personal hygiene. Dollar store. Gotta love the dollar store. I've got a nail file thing, emery board. I've got a nail cleaner pick for under your nails. I've got tweezers and a fingernail clipper. Extra shoestring. Very important to have around. I've got dental floss. I've got some toothbrushes in a separate pouch. And then I've got a washcloth, which I will replace with an ultralight. I've got my military signaling mirror and shaving mirror. And, oh, there I do have, so I don't need the washcloth now. I've got the towel. So again, I am reducing and replacing stuff with lighter and lighter gear. I have Blistermatic. This is extremely useful when you're hiking long term, especially when you first start out the first few days. I've got iron-on clothing patch kits, which you could iron on with a rock, and I've got some handkerchiefs, which have multiple purposes and uses. You can use them as a bandage. Handkerchiefs are very useful. So there's my personal hygiene. again in a separate compartment. Everything's compartmentalized in this bag, which I love it so much for that purpose. It is my favorite bag of all time for a bug out bag. This SOG bag here. Let's see if I can reach over. Again, I'm still setting this up. Here I've got my sewing kit. Here I've got a little bit of extra snacks for the road. This is just tossed in there. It was just there. Actually, it should go into my food bag now. Here I've got some trash bags, heavy, big trash bags. Here I've got some drop cloths, disposable gloves, sorry. Some disposable gloves. There's 100 disposable gloves in this, and it's no weight to that at all. They're really thin and they're really cheap, but there's 100 gloves. If you've got to treat somebody in the field and they're bleeding, you don't want to get infection in your own self or whatever. You don't want to risk disease. I've got here all of my personal documents in a waterproof document protector bag, some notepads, and my Bible. Got a few trash bags there. So all that stays in this pouch. And that pretty much covers it for now. I am continuously reworking my gear. So, whoops, that goes in the hygiene bag. I am working on reducing weight and improving what I carry. So with time, this is going to change a lot, and I have big plans for the changes I'll be making here soon. So I'll keep you updated. Now this is a lot easier on a solid ground than on a couch. It's flexible on me. That bag just stuffs in there nice and neat. Sorry, the cats again. I don't know what's going on. They seem to be wanting to fight when I'm recording. Felix hasn't learned to play nicely, and he tears fur out of baby cat. He bites a little bit too hard. Now here I've got my original military compass with a handkerchief and a razor knife. I've had this kit together just like that for many years. Right there, quick grab and easy to reach. So there's my main bug out bag with all of the gear and equipment. Also, here's the strap on the top that I use when I throw on my food for the trail. One day I'll take it outside where I've got more room, obviously, and we'll go out in the field and do a training trip. Strap that down tight. Well, again, it's not that awkward when I'm out in the field. I've got a lot more room to move around out in the field than I do here in the living room in the tiny house on wheels. Now, I have some extra clamps on the molly loops for all kinds of gear. There's a lot of extra things that I might have to strap on here at different times. I also am going to be adding a winter grab kit. So here's my food grab kit, my main bug out bag, my food grab bag, and obviously because I live in North America, I'm going to have a winter grab bag very soon. I'm putting that together right now. So getting there, everything compartmentalized, and I now have a good overview of where everything is. So, alright everybody, thanks for watching. Troy from TR Tech Tactical and Survival. See you all later.